There are about 3,400 farmers who cultivate around 101,000 hectares of land under vines, and 275,000 people who are employed either directly or indirectly in the sector. Until 2013, the wine industry in the Western Cape had been generally isolated from any industrial action that had affected the rest of the country. The strike action here served as a wake-up call.
I think the sooner we kick ahead, and really fast-track transformation, I think the better for industry in order to create sustainability. It is for me about the gaps between the haves and the have-nots. If you cannot close that gap, it's going to create a sense of instability, which is going to be for the total negative effect for the industry.
It is not easy. There's not much money in wine. If you think of planting vineyards, takes 5 years before you can start harvesting. If you make red wine, it must go into a barrel for 2 years. So it's a long investment before you start seeing a return.
Empowerment is understood and implemented in any number of ways. One wine industry leader is going directly to the source and working with communities.
Those relationships are built all year round and are fostered, and that's why it's so important for Amarillo to be involved in activities throughout the year, such as the creches, the daycare programs, finding ways to find job creation opportunities in the area outside of the harvest season.
Our contribution is by exposing the young talent, the young aspiring winemakers to the activities linked to the wine production at Niederburg. And we are doing that throughout the year. We have young winemakers, students, how we call them, which are helping us throughout the harvesting season.
The 975-hectare Popkaalsfontein farm in the Darling area is the focal point in the Distill Black Empowerment Program. 350 hectares are now under vines. It involves shareholders, workers and managers, but it's a business first and foremost.
There are certain principles that we've learned, and the market perspective as a beginning point is absolutely critical. If that is not there, then you create a beautiful infrastructure and suddenly there's no market, and that's a problem.
Other players have taken a far more inclusive approach and view permanent and temporary seasonal workers as part of the family.
Black economic empowerment is important for me as a person, of course for our communities, but when I approach the market, the black economic empowerment component doesn't feature very well, because I think the wine must speak for itself.
Black economic empowerment is an issue if you're in South Africa when it comes to winemaking. But as the winemakers have told us, it's all about the taste and the value for money. I'm Angelo Coppola for CCTV in Paarl in the Western Cape.